The Backroom Podcast is brought to you by my friends at Shelby Auto Service in my hometown of Alabaster. 3 words I can think of for this group: established, reputable, and dependable. When it comes to auto service centers, none's better than Shelby Auto Service. And listen, the whole team, the entire team is ASE certified mechanics. Whether it's routine or a complicated service, they can handle it. ShelbyAutoservice.com to get more details. ShelbyAutoservice.com.
It is episode 4 of The Back Room. We have a different cast every time. We got our driver, Mr. John Lunsford, is out of town for Disney for the 6th time this year, and it's only April. We are joined today by Mr. Scott Forrester and Miss Taylor Korn. I'm Rockstar Sean Henniger, and what we're going to do today, guys, is we're going to kind of go over first impressions with Taylor. We haven't done those yet. But you guys were recruited and hired after this core group was put in place for Double Down Media, and I would love to hear what you were pitched, and if it came to fruition, Scott, and then with Taylor, what you were pitched, what they told you your job description was going to be, and how close to that description has it become on your daily workday. So, Scott, first, who interviewed you, and how did the hiring process go?
So it started with I got a text from Ryan Brown, who I'd known for years, just asking me out to lunch. Said he wanted to he wanted to run some things by me.
Pick your brain.
Yeah, he wanted to pick my brain. Yeah. So we figured out a time to do that. Met at the same place that we had lunch the other day, where Dunaway, still waiting on his salad. They did indeed run some things by me, which involved leaving a 15-year career in TV.
What I'm curious about is, it always comes back, because you probably went well and everything. You thought, like, well, that is interesting. What do you tell your wife when you come home that night? And what does she say? There's no way in hell you're doing that.
She was a little skeptical, but I had already started grad school, so I was already working on getting myself out of local TV.
Is that you're planning to leave us too?
Well, yeah, that he constantly says that. However, if I was, I would have already done it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I was already working on getting out of TV, and I don't know. I finished the graduate degree, but I'm glad that I'm doing this.
Were they good pictures?
They were good pictures. I guess the biggest selling point was weekends home, which
yes.
In local.
I remember we got you hired in our first week after saying, Scott, just think about this. You'll have your weekends with your family. You can be with your girls and everything. You can be everywhere every weekend you want to be, no weekends. And the first week we're here, like, hey, what are you doing Saturday?
Yep.
Can you film something Saturday?
Yep, we're shooting that Taylor Hicks last call, and Lance is then, hey, what about this and this and this? Also on
we can do
got this Saturday, we got this Sunday.
Saturday, Sunday, we can do 2 things on Saturday. So just taking an entire
That's
Saturday.
right.
So obviously you think it was a good decision. Was the pitch anything related? Because it was still an idea in our head when we pitched this. Like we didn't have the damn thing built yet. Is it as close to what you thought it was going to be, or was it just curious of what your expectations were, and were they fulfilled?
I don't even know what my expectations were. I just knew that I wouldn't be. I knew that I could help, with video production and making things look good. I didn't know that I'd necessarily be controlling, graphics and, and all that sort of stuff, which I had no experience doing, on a live show. But
you picked it up.
Yeah, I picked it up.
That's what
it was kind of trial by fire, just throw it in, go.
Yeah, you just have to learn
Yeah.
on the fly, which was great. So now we're going to go to Miss Taylor Korn here, who is got the nickname number 10. You got Little T. Who approached you? Was it Reed that approached you?
Yeah, so actually my roommate at Auburn, Reed's niece, she was the one that called me first. Because I guess Reed called her and was like, we're looking to hire another employee. do you have friends that, he just kind of explained what he was looking for, asked her if she knew anyone. And she was like, oh my God, my roommate. So I'm actually driving to Greenville for Auburn's March Madness game. And I was in the middle of nowhere. My directions were kind of cutting in and out. And I was driving. And Sydney called me and she was like, hey, what are you doing? I was like, I'm like, I need to look at my phone for these directions. And she was like, wait, I have something that I need to.
News.
Yeah. And I was like, okay. So she kind of explained what y'all did. I don't know if she fully really, I don't know if she
That's
she
what I would love to
knew.
Sydney's pitch to you.
Yeah, she didn't exactly know what this was, but she kind of gave me, she gave me a gist of it. And I was like, oh my God, yes. I was like, let me get back these directions and let's talk when I get home. But yeah, I'm in. So then I immediately was texting my parents and I was like, oh my God. I was like, Sydney just called me and her uncle. I was like, I don't really know what it is, but it sounds like I would love it. And
I got some of that from my wife too. Like, yeah, and you're interested in this?
yeah. And well, at this point,
Are you sure?
at this point, it was March. We were graduating in May, and I was searching for jobs on, LinkedIn, all those places, but I wasn't finding anything that I loved. And I kept telling my parents, I was like, I'm not just going to apply for random jobs just to find a job before graduation because I don't want to,
So
end up
this is
accepting.
actually your first official job, like your first.
Yeah.
Wow, most jobs are not like this.
Yes, I've heard that many of
a
times.
lot of jobs are not like the environment we have here, so we're spoiling you in a way. When you talk to Reed, what did Reed say to you? This is what we expect your everyday to be like. If we hire you to work for Double Down Media, what were your job statistics? What were you supposed to be doing?
So he said, the live shows from 9 to 1, and it wasn't super, I honestly don't remember details, but it was basically, like this isn't your typical 9 to 5 job where you're sitting, behind a desk, whatever. And that's what I was looking for, because I don't know, I think y'all know this, but
I could never do a desk job.
I couldn't either. And I had found out a few months prior that I have narcolepsy. I have sleep apnea, and I also found out that I had narcolepsy. So that was during my job search. That was like a concern for me and my parents. So I was like, if I'm sitting behind a desk staring at a computer all day, I will fall asleep.
Yeah.
And so that was another thing. I was like, I need something that's active. I need to be talking to people and like communicating, I guess. I need to be doing something interactive. And so when he described it, I was like, okay, this sounds awesome. It seems like I'll be active throughout the day.
Mm-hmm.
But he basically was just saying, we have 9 employees and social media. We don't have anyone dedicated to doing social media, and we need someone because everyone's hands are kind of full. And so I didn't really know details of what, you're going to get here and then you're going to do this, that, and the other. But it was basically just social media, and there were no details that I can remember.
He didn't say that you'd be going over to LT's house after he had a tonsillectomy.
No, that was not included.
Going to the grocery store and
no.
Yeah. I would like to, getting from that is Scott's already given his. We've already given ours. First impressions from Taylor. Who do you want to do first? Do you want to go the show or behind the scenes? You want to do back room first?
I'll do. Okay, first on my mind, I'm gonna walk through. So, my first time talking to you and Lunsford was on the phone with Reed.
Yep.
I was there too.
You were in there?
I was in there.
So I think he texted me and he was like, I'm gonna have two of our guys on the phone, whatever. And I was like, okay, great. And I remember y'all were asking questions about video editing and stuff, and I had zero. It was one question. So do you have any experience doing this? And I was like, no, but I'm really confident in my ability to learn how.
It was all
It's one of those things.
And stuff like
Yep.
that.
Yeah.
Audition and photo editing and stuff like that.
Yeah. I was like, no. I was like, I built a website for my sorority once.
It was a MySpace page.
It was, yeah. I was like, oh my God. And so I remember I got off that and I was like, well, my dad. Cause my
I don't know
dad's
how that
always like-
went.
Yeah, he's like, call me right after. So I hung up and I was like, how'd it go? And I was like, I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know if they're going to be calling back because they asked about. I don't know how many things, but I did not have experience doing any of them.
Yeah.
So that was the first time that I had talked to y'all. I don't know if I'd talked to y'all when I came up here before I started.
I remember you came up either the weekend before, like that Friday, if you start on Monday, I remember, because it's so fun to see people when they come in for like a job interview.
Oh, yeah.
You get all dressed up and dolled up and everything. And I remember seeing you in Reed's office. We were doing the show at the time, so
Yeah.
we didn't have a time to like talk or meet or anything. I just remember like you had like a dress on.
Yep, I had a dress
you were all
on.
dolled up and like. That's so awesome because it's a job. I gotta get dressed up, and now
Yeah.
this is what we wear.
Wait, these
every
guys are
day.
wearing shorts?
Yeah.
Well, after during the interview, Reed was like, he was like, you can wear just, whatever you're comfortable in. Like, I think he was like, I don't really know how to tell you what you're supposed to wear. Just wear what you're comfortable in. And I was like, that sounds great.
That sounds awesome.
And I was like, so y'all will never be seeing this dress ever again.
No, and I don't blame you. Why not? If you don't have to work, I'd love to be comfortable. So now let's go to the talent. Let's go with Lance, Jim, and Ryan. You can go. Let's go in that order. Let's do Lance first.
Okay, so this wasn't necessarily my first impression. This was probably, I don't
first
know.
encounter. How about that?
I don't know how long this was after I started, but this was like this is the most noteworthy interaction I had with him at the start of working was, and it may have been a month after, but it was after he and Reed's dad passed away.
Right.
And Cameron came up here with
The ashes.
the ashes.
The Jaeger ball.
And so it was during the show, and it was me and Cameron just, hanging out in the lobby for a while. We were just talking. It was fine. So Lance comes out, gets the ashes on the show, or like he's on air, I don't remember what he did. And so afterwards, someone brought barbecue. I can't remember if there was I don't know what the occasion was or if someone just brought food or what. So we're sitting out there. And then it was during probably like the last commercial break. Someone came in that I had never met before. And, I stood up, I introduced myself. I was like, how are you? And he was like, I'm here to pick up the ashes. And I was like, okay. I was like,
This is your job.
yeah. And I was like, okay, well, they should be wrapping up here soon, and I'll get Lance. I don't really, I'm not handling the ashes. So he comes, and then he has the mini Jaeger bottle.
Yes.
So we're eating. There's on the table in the lobby. There's barbecue laid out. People are fixing plates. And Lance, so then Lance was like, okay, so they were only bringing a portion of the ashes to the beach.
He spread his ashes in the beach.
Right.
From the Jaeger bottle. So
yes.
Somehow you got to transfer from the urn to this teeny tiny Jaeger bottle. So how did y'all do that? Did y'all do it on the table in the lobby over here?
Yes.
By the barbecue?
Yes, right by the barbecue. And he was like, hey, can you help me with, I was like, I don't know how the heck I'm supposed to, and the
ash dust is going everywhere.
Yeah, I was
And
like,
this dry rub is good.
exactly. I'm like, everyone cover your plates. Oh. And so I was like, I'll help. Yeah, I'm like, yeah, absolutely, I'll help. So I have the ashes, I have the Jaeger bottle, and I was like, well, like the bottle is,
tiny. Tiny.
And
it's like a pinhole.
Yeah, and I was like, okay, so I was like, do you have a piece of paper? So I go get a piece of paper, and I'm like making it into a funnel, and I get the ashes, I pour it into the bottle, cap it up, hand it off, take a video of him. I took a video, and I was like, am I supposed to is this what I'm supposed to be sending out on social media? I don't really know what I'm supposed to write. Like, here's Lance with his dad's ashes in a Jaeger bottle, sending him off to the beach. I don't know. And so it was just like a very eventful day, and I got home. My mom was like, how was work? I was like, let me tell you about,
Where do you even begin?
That's why I was like, well, it was a Friday, so we started drinking beer at 12. Someone brought barbecue, and then I put Lance's dad's ashes into a Jaeger bottle. And my mom was like, wait, what?
What was your parents, from the outside looking in, what are they seeing? Like, are they approving of this? Or they, hey, I don't think that this behavior is, would they ever warn you, saying these guys are a little too much or something like that? Are you sure you want to be doing this?
Oh no, my mom was like, if they're ever hiring again, I'm quitting my job and I want to apply. She was like, I'll do anything. She was like, I will fold
banana bread maker, by the way.
She was like, I'll fold t-shirts. She was like, you have so much fun.
Yeah.
I think their big thing, especially my dad, was like, you need to find something that you're happy doing. And every day I'm so excited, I have fun. And so I don't think, they think it's great.
Well, we're going to have to, I guess we're going to have another Taylor appearance for the Dunaway things. Unless you can do the Dunaway. And you just want to do one good story, or you want to hold off till another episode?
I can
tease us.
Yeah, give us a tease.
So my Dunaway first interaction. This was the second day when we were at the Beer Hog for the
Brittany Wagner.
Yes.
Yep.
And so that was my second day. I drove.
That was your second day?
Yes.
Wow. Because I remember it rained like hell that day.
Yep.
Right?
Yes.
Okay.
And so we drove out there. I was, I parked my car, walked in. Dunaway and Brown are sitting at a table, and I walked in. We started talking, normal conversation, and then I get a question about a boy on my Instagram, and I'll leave it at that. Or I don't have to leave it at that.
Well, now you got to. I'll squeeze in a little bit more time. What? Expand, please.
So he asked. So I watched, and he's like, "Oh, I have a question." I was like, "Fire away!" Not expecting what he's about to ask. It was about my boyfriend at the time's dad had played football at Auburn.
Okay.
And I guess he was like, I was looking at your Instagram and I saw you have a bunch of pictures with Charlie Trotman. He was like, is that the Charlie Trotman that's dad played quarterback at Auburn? And I was like, yeah. And he was like, is that your boyfriend? I was like, yes. Oh, no. And I was just like, okay. And then later that day, we were still, I think it may have been afterwards, and I don't know if it was Reed or Lance. They were like, so what were you and Dunaway talking about earlier? I was like, he was just asking about this. And now it's like, it's hilarious. I didn't, like, it wasn't alarming at all. I was just like, it's whatever. They probably like, before a job, they look at your social media. I don't know. I was just like,
I didn't look.
But they're like, clean up your social media, kids.
No, yeah, I understand that, but no, I did not look.
So it wasn't, I didn't think anything of it, but then they were like, what was he? And then they were just like, oh, and I was like, okay, now it's funny to look back on.
Yeah, well, now we got to give a quick, so he gets his feelings hurt, because Lunsford apparently bashed him. Ryan Brown.
Okay, right, so I'll be quick. My first interaction that I remember with him was when he was telling me, he was like, okay, so we have this group chat. We send the guest schedule in every day. He was like, I'm going to add you into it. Whatever. I don't know why that's my first memory of him, but my first impression of, which I think is representative of his personality more, was I had just started and I was flying somewhere. I think I was flying to Michigan, and my flight was super early in the morning. I think it was a Friday, so I wasn't here. And Brown texted me before my flight, and he was like, Jennifer and I just said a prayer that you have a safe flight. And I was like, oh, thank you so much. Like, I'm just boarded my plane. And then he was like, oh, and Anna Kate did too. I promise she prays also, or something. and I was like, wait, this is so, yeah, I don't know what happened to Hallie. But that's my first memorable encounter with him, I guess.
Yeah, sticks out in your mind. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, good. So that wasn't bashing him. So you didn't get bashed today, Brown. Congratulations. Nobody really got bashed today. We were a little tame. Unless, Scott, you want to expound on anything that's happened lately?
I'm not going in. I'm not going after anybody today.
So Scott was just in Europe. We'll talk about that soon. We got Lunsford going to Disney. I was on tour for a while. Taylor, you got anything special coming up?
A lot of weddings. Well, a lot.
That's brutal.
Yeah, I have.
You a bridesmaid in a lot of them?
Yes, I have one May 20th that I'm a bridesmaid in. I have one May 27th.
It's my anniversary.
Oh,
Happy anniversary.
Congratulations.
Here's another. Could you have a date to any of these weddings?
One of them is in Michigan.
That's not an answer.
So, no, I'm not, I don't want to, hey, do you want to come to this wedding in Michigan and meet my entire extended family?
Some guys would.
I don't know. Well, I RSVP'd with just myself. So.
Chicken or steak or whatever. Chicken or beef?
Beef, probably, yeah. Okay. Yeah. I think my mom filled that out for me.
I would love for you to take a date. A listener probably, just to have an experience, because you could do social media.
Yeah, it was great content.
Yeah, great content. You feeling awkward all day. So, anything else to add before we end this great, fantastic episode number 4?
No.
I've got nothing.
Well, Lunsford will be back. I think we're going to be recording another one of these on Thursday. So we got another one coming back, and we'll have Taylor back. Maybe we'll have Miss Kelsey Dollar in here. to give her impressions that we worked with her for a long, long time. I can't wait to see. Found out that she plays guitar and sings, and she will not do either for me. So maybe we can get her on the show and do that. She can come up with a theme song.
She would love that.
I could tell her personality.
Yeah.
She's all about that. She loves to be the center of attention. So we're gonna have her in this chair so she can be the center of the attention. So I am Rockstar for Taylor and Scott. Thank you for tuning in to episode 4 of the Back Room. Subscribe and do all that like stuff with your thumbs, all the stuff. And Scott says he's gonna release this later. I don't know. No pressure, man. Just to get it out before 2 p.m. I'm Rockstar. So have a good rest of your week. If you're watching this on Sunday, have a good beginning of your week. If you're watching this on Friday, have a good weekend.